Welcome back to Conversations with Asher. And we were just sitting here talking with Dr. Naomi Bliss of the Bliss Center, and we have our next guest out, Ms. Diana Watley. And we are so excited to have you out today. And you, boy, this first segment right here, that thing was getting into us right there. And so you have a wonderful. Let's talk about what you do. Go for it. Let's talk.
Okay, Diana Watley. I was born in Atlanta, Georgia. And when I got back from college from Albany State University, I noticed a major shift in how our young ladies act in schools and things of that nature. So I created a company called Filling the Shoes. Now, originally, Filling the Shoes was a modeling agency. I show young girls how to get into the industry the right way, not lucid pictures on Facebook.
Right.
None of that. The correct way, the decent way. And it quickly transitioned into mentoring, and that's what I do all day long. It took me 6 years to realize the harsh reality that it's not just our young girls that need the mentoring, but their mothers.
Yes.
And their parents.
Yes.
Because some things are learned behavior. And kids only take serious what their parents take serious.
Correct.
So starting 2012, I'm launching my brand called Under New Management. And that's for adult women.
Okay, that's fantastic. So here's what I love about you. You deal with people and their situation and motivate them, and you don't have a problem getting in the middle of the stuff.
Right.
Like Dr. Bliss. Dr. Bliss, she has no issues with, it's like surgery, and I love it. It's like a skilled surgeon. You don't want somebody coming hacking on you with a just a hacksaw. You don't want that. You want somebody who knows how to strategically and with precision cut and know how to go in and deal with those things and cut out the cancer and cut out the different things that are in there that are causing there to be disease in your life and disease in your heart. And you want that same person to know how to strategically and skillfully sew you up.
That's right.
Because it's not enough to be able to go in. Anybody can cut you. And anybody can reach in and try to get it out. But what is the damage that's left after you've been doing this emotional surgery and this psychiatric or surgery dealing with the psyche? And so what would you all say, and this is an open question, either one of you all can answer this, what would you say is the most pervasive thought? We heard about fear, and we know the root of every issue is fear. But what do you think is the most obvious condition or attitude or thing that you've heard being said repeatedly among people today that would indicate you need to come sit down and see me? Go ahead.
Okay. One thing that I've noticed about the new generation of parents is that they're dealing with a lot of generational curses, things from their past that they never dealt with. And so they pass those things off to their children. One of the biggest things that I see in the schools today is that who are their role models? One of the steps of being under new management is being the example. I always tell my parents, how you date is how your daughter dates. So if you have men coming in your door like a revolving door, then that's what she goes to school and does.
How many people in the audience can attest to that, can say that they've seen that? That's huge.
I mean, change is a very uncomfortable process.
Very, very difficult.
But so many times we'll sit in a comfortable situation, allow it to tear us down. That's also a step, and one of the steps of being under new management. Don't be afraid of change. Change is very, very unfamiliar, but it works.
It works every time.
Absolutely.
Even if it just shakes up the norm, just so you can just to keep you on your P's and Q's.
Absolutely.
Dr. Bliss, what do you say about that?
You know what? Similar to what you're saying, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Right.
That's that old-fashioned way of saying it. And usually if I'm counseling a child, I know the parent isn't far behind. You gotta bring them in also. But I think the most pervasive thing that's happening now, I hear more and more of depression. People are so unhappy. And depression happens when you know something is wrong and you either don't do anything about it. The Holy Spirit says, hey, listen, don't do that. But you do it anyway. And then you just get further and further into darkness. So I think that's one of the biggest problems. And again, it's rooted in fear. People are afraid.
And that's awesome that you brought that up, because even there are people who simply don't know. They know there's a problem. It's clear as day, But because of the lack of training and the lack of exposure and the lack of mentorship and the lack of, oftentimes it's parenting in their life, even if they're 40 and 50, misparenting in their life. You know, they don't have, they're like, something's wrong and I just can't put my finger on it.
Right.
Something's wrong and I don't know how to fix it. And they become frustrated, depressed, angry, hostile, bitter.
Right.
You know, at that very thing.
At that very thing. We only have two fears when we're born: falling and loud noises. Everything else is learned. Everything else.
Everything else is learned.
Everything else we learn.
Wow.
So what happens when you don't learn it?
And what happens when you well, if you don't learn it, you're going to be arrested developmentally arrested, and believe it or not, at some point down the road, arrested.
Absolutely.
Wow,
Absolutely. I
arrested
like
down
that.
the road.
I like that.
You know what, you all, we're going to come back to you in a few moments and we're going to continue the conversation and we'll have some more great information for you. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's talk. We've got all three of you all here about, talking about the different things that we can do in our life. We've got Dr. Bliss for the Bliss Center. We've got Diana Watley, and she's got some great information here. And let's talk about real quick. Tell us what you got coming up real quick.
Under new management, we have the launch party coming in 2012.
Yes.
And again, we want you to, we're going to give you 2 tickets. For $10, you get 2 tickets, one for you and one for you to bring someone for free.
That is
because
fantastic.
the idea is for you to bring someone who needs these services. It's some parents out there who don't know how to parent. It's some parents out there need help and want to know what their daughters are doing. I'm the youthologist. I'm going to tell you exactly what your daughter is doing, and we're going to move forward. So it's some growing and some connection going on. And so February 2012, please look out for Under New Management.
And that's fantastic, and we're definitely going to show that information, and that way give people a way or an avenue to be able to contact you. And then we've got Doctor dealing with your body, huh?
Yes.
Mr. Carlos Love, Get Your Body Right Love, and so some of the things that you have seen, people so often want to change the way they look.
Right.
But the funny thing is that until we deal with the inner part of a person, you can change how you look all day long on the outside, but until you deal with that thing that's going wrong on the inside,
Correct.
that exterior portion of you really never seems to shape up the way that you want it to shape up. And what have you seen in terms of how you have counseled people physically, giving them the tools to do better with their eating and with their physical maintenance? How has having that knowledge changed or shaped or enhanced how you do what you do?
Well, first of all, let me say that that whole mind, spirit, body is all connected.
Yes.
And it's really bi-directional. Most people who come to me with health issues or with obesity, overweight issues, I find that they have issues elsewhere in their life,
Right.
in their emotional development,
Right.
in their psychological development.
How many other people have seen that very same thing? That's like a resounding, prevailing theme that I have seen in the lives of people. Anytime you are dealing with these other issues, you probably have other things going on in your life too. So go ahead with that.
Certainly, and as a trainer or a fitness and nutrition coach, part of what I do is very much similar to these ladies. I do a lot of counseling.
Right.
Believe it or not, because in order for me to get your body right, first we have to get your mind right.
Wow. Wow.
So I spend a lot of my time, believe it or not, day in, actually ministering, witnessing to people in the gym, because there's some brokenness there. And so, yeah, we can go through, anybody can go through basic exercise routines. And my saying is, anything is better than nothing.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so for those people out there who are struggling with weight issues or obesity issues or health issues, I say, get on a program, do it now, and be consistent with it more than anything. But beyond that, I think that the larger issue is conditioning the mind to help to really understand, as as we go through the exercise process, for most people it's difficult,
Right.
especially for those who have not been exercising for some time. And God has showed me some time ago that this process of change, of reformation through our bodies, is very similar to the process of change that He takes us through spiritually and emotionally. Because when it gets heavy in life, you understand.
Wow.
Most of us want to pull back.
Right, right.
Most of us said, "No, this is too hard. I can't do this." But when you come into my gym, it's the same thing. You know, if we are doing some exercises under resistance, and you say, "Wow, this is a lot of weight. This is difficult." But I say, keep on pushing. You keep on at it. You chip away at it because without resistance, there's no growth.
There's no growth. And the funny thing is, so it is in the natural, it is in the spiritual.
Exactly.
As it is in the spiritual, it's in the natural
Exactly.
too.
That's right.
And the thing about it, when you are dealing with life situations, resistance, when you're dealing with pressure, you have to know exactly how to work with it in order to develop you and grow you. The resistance, weight training, resistance training, let it work with you
Exactly.
so it can grow you.
Right.
Exactly.
Don't run from it.
Right.
Exactly.
Actually, how about run to it? How about that for a new
That's right.
concept?
That's right.
How about
Why
run
not?
to it?
That's it.
Just know how to, for lack of a better term, manipulate it.
Right.
There it
How
is.
know how to navigate it, so that way it works for you
right.
and not against you.
Right.
Exactly.
And now, real briefly, we have a couple of minutes left before we go to commercial. But you are a chef. You are. I mean, this isn't just somebody who knows weights,
Right.
people. This is somebody who knows how to get in your kitchen and light some things on fire and say, "Voila, Chef Boyardee." Okay, so hopefully not Chef Boyardee though. So that's something that you've learned, and we can talk about that when we come back from the break and everything. But it is something that has been critical in you being able to do what you do.
Exactly.
And we'll talk more with them and with everybody else on the panel as we come back here on Conversations with Ashley.